President Bola Tinubu today sworn in Professor Joash Amupita as INEC chairman. Is charged him to safeguard Nigeria's democracy and strengthen INEC's capacity. The new INEC chair has also made a vow. We'll be getting you to know all of what he said today. And Anambra Kanu's lawyers, Kanu Agabi, has withdrawn from representing the leader of IPOB, stating that the defendant had taken the case back from his legal team. Anambra Kanu is now on his own. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I am Sean Kimale here in Abuja. Let's tell you what happened in the courtroom. Although we do know that the police is saying that Mr. Omoyele Sowore should not be campaigning based on court order. Should not be protesting based on court order, but he's been arrested within the premises of the Federal High Court. But inside the courtroom, lead counsel to Mr. Anambra Kanu, Senior Advocate Kanu Agabi, has applied to withdraw from representing the detained self-acclaimed leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, stating that the defendant had taken the case back from his legal team. All the senior advocates of Nigeria on the defense team have also withdrawn from the suit, a development Kanu confirmed in court. The defendant told the court that he would be representing himself for now, although that might change later when the judge asked if he should be assigned a lawyer. He declined the offer. Defending himself orally, Mr. Anambra Kanu argued that the court lacked the jurisdiction to try him.
A number of us defending Nnamdi has decided to conduct his defense by himself. He has a right to do so. We respect that decision, and we wish him well going forward. That's all.
Mr. Kanu Agabi there. Well, so much for us to dwell on. Some of your major political stories get our attention tonight on the program. But before we dive into it, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The House of Representatives has decried the arbitrary rent increases in Nigeria, calling for no more than 20% of the existing rent, irrespective of infrastructure improvements or other factors. This followed a motion by the member representing Calabar Municipality and Odupani Federal Constituency, Mr. Basi Akiba, on the need to regulate arbitrary rent increase and protect tenants from exploitation. The House is urging the federal government to prioritize investing in affordable housing initiatives, ensure access to low-cost housing for Nigerians, and reduce pressure on the rental market. Following his sudden dismissal of his legal team, the planned commencement of the defense by the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Anambra Kanu, has been stalled. Mr. Kanu was scheduled to open his defense in his ongoing alleged terrorism trial on Thursday, October 23. At the day's proceeding, the lead counsel to Kanu, Mr. Kanu Agabi, announced his decision with other senior advocates in the team to withdraw from the case. Mr. Agabi explained that the defendant had taken the case back from them, a decision they wish to respect. And the Social Democratic Party has suspended its national chairman, Mr. Shehu Gabam, over alleged financial misconduct and misappropriation of party funds. The party also suspended its national auditor, Mr. Nnamdi Clarkson, and the national youth leader, Mr. Chukwuma Uchechukwu. The decision was announced in a statement by the National Publicity Secretary, Araba Ayenigba. And ahead of the December 2025 local government elections, the People's Democratic Party in Borno State have asked the state government to allow a fair playing ground for all political parties in the state. The state chairman of the party, Mr. Zana Mustafa, who disclosed this at the inauguration of the newly elected state and local government council executives in Maiduguri, said the last local government elections were full of irregularities. A former Minister of Interior and National Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, Mr. Rauf Aregbesola, and former Ekiti State Deputy Governor, Professor Kolapo Olushola Eleka, have condemned the attack on the party secretariat and members in Ado-Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State. ADC members and residents woke up to see the party secretariat razed with several valuables, including plastic chairs, canopies, sound system and office equipment destroyed. Hours later in the morning, some hoodlums regrouped in large numbers and stormed the secretariat, the venue of the party's planned affirmation ceremony, disrupting preparations and attacked party leaders and supporters. The hoodlums vandalized vehicles and motorcycles, while canopies and chairs arranged for the program were destroyed. And the Coalition of Christian Youth has condemned what it described as a false and misleading statement credited to the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Policy Communication, Mr. Dano Boala, concerning the plight of Christians in Nigeria. The group maintained that available records indicate that many Christian communities have been attacked, destroyed, and in some cases completely occupied and renamed by aggressors, a situation it described as ethnic and religious cleansing. The coalition urged leaders in position of authority to always speak the truth, irrespective of political affiliations, stressing that denying the painful experiences of victims of religious violence would only deepen division and trauma in the country.
There you have it. You've been up to date now with your political roundup stories. Let's begin with perhaps one of your major headline story today. It's no news anyways, but then it's news because of what has been said. Because Nigeria's electoral body has a new man. President Bola Tinubu today sworn in Professor Joash Amupitan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and he's charged him to safeguard the integrity of the nation's elections and strengthen the institutional framework that underpins Nigeria's democracy. The ceremony, which took place at the State House in Abuja, marked the beginning of a new chapter for the electoral umpire, and it's coming at a time when public confidence in the process remains a central issue in the country's democratic journey. Professor Amupitan is a senior advocate of Nigeria and a law professor taking over with a pledge to defend the Constitution. He sworn that quote today at the presidential villa. But, well, the president had a few things to say to him shortly after the professor took his oath of office. Take a listen to President Bola Tinubu.
The integrity of our electoral system must be beyond reproach. It is important that our elections are free, fair, and credible. We must consistently improve our electoral process, addressing the challenges of yesterday and innovating for today and tomorrow. To maintain public trust in elections, electoral integrity must be protected. All aspects of the process, from registration to campaigning, immediate access, voting and counting, should be transparent, non-violent, and be credible. No electoral system is flawless, but since elections are vital to a nation's future, it is essential to continually strengthen electoral institutions, ensuring they are robust, resilient, and safeguarded against artificial setbacks. I therefore charge you, Professor Amupitan, as to take on this important assignment to protect the integrity of our elections and electoral process and strengthen the institutional capacity of INEC.
That's President Bola Tinubu there. But there is a commitment that was being made today, shortly after the oath of office was taken and he was sworn in as INEC chairman. Professor Amupitan went and joined his colleagues, where he will now be taking charge at the INEC headquarters in Maitama, Abuja. And this was the moment where Professor Amupitan is making a vow to Nigerians on what he will do perhaps you might want to take him on those his word that he made today, soon as he now officially becomes the new INEC chairman. Take a listen to Professor Mpiton.
I assure you of my commitment to upholding the highest standard of integrity, transparency, and discipline in all our operations. I want to give you that assurance. And also to let you know that our mandate is very clear as INEC. INEC has a constitutional responsibility and a statutory mandate, as we all know. Our mandate is clear, and what is it? To deliver free, fair, and credible elections that reflect the will of Nigerian people. To achieve this, we must work together as a team.
All right. Among being joined by a professor of law, a writer, and a lawyer, the former chairman of the Nigerian Human Rights Commission, Professor Chibi Odinkalu, who is live for us virtually. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Maybe before we let me extract some knowledge from you with respect to law. What does it mean when a defendant like Anambra says, I want to defend myself? What are the implications in law?
I don't know any law in Nigeria, so I can't help you, sir. I'm sorry.
You want us to withdraw your law certificates? You are now denying that you have knowledge of law.
Please feel free to withdraw it, because the fact of the matter is that the things that our courts do these days, I was not trained in them. And so I can't tell you, I can't help you if it comes to Nigerian law.
All right.
And gladly, I teach international law, which is not made in Nigeria.
But what are the principles of law since your knowledge of law suddenly have just disappeared? Prof, I mean, seriously, what are the implications when a defendant says, I will now represent myself?
In the version of law that I was taught, the relationship between a lawyer and the client is a relationship of agent and principal, with the client being the principal and the lawyer being the agent. And if the principal withdraws the instruction, it is withdrawn. At which point the lawyer is obliged to cease representing the client. Now, in criminal proceedings, what then happens thereafter is between the judge and the accused person, because the person who is client is also accused person, I presume, in a trial. What happens thereafter is between the judge and the accused person. The judge is obliged to allow the accused person some time to reorganize their affairs. And the accused person obviously is entitled, the terms of the constitutional protection, by the way, or guarantee, if I remember correctly, require entitle an accused person to represent themselves or through legal representatives of their own choice, as long as subject, of course, to the principle you know very well, which is that the lawyer has to be a person who has a natural right to travel in and out of Nigeria. And so the lawyer will not be a foreigner ordinarily. But other than that, an accused person is entitled to take these decisions. I presume that those are the prerogatives that Mr. Kanu has chosen to exercise.
So, I mean, you look at the trial and the agitation. What are your views about those who are asking? And I'm guessing that those who are asking for the freedom for Anambra Kanu are looking at it from the purview of the president granting clemency to about over 170 Nigerians who have been convicted.
First of all, there's a constitutional right to free expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, and those who advocating for the release of Anambra through the mechanism of peaceful protest have a constitutional right to do that. I think that, by the way, if I may say so, what the police did 48 hours ago, on the 20th of this month, quite honestly, was terroristic. You cannot, kettle an entire city the way they did, just for the sake of precluding a protest. Now, if they had just marshaled the protesters along the road, people would have been able to do their business for the day with minimal interference. The idea of imprisoning an entire city just so that you terrorize an entire community sufficiently to preclude a protest is unlawful in my view. It's manifestly terroristic. And it's irresponsible. Now, shooting at people with tear gas canisters and reportedly live bullets, for what? What exactly were those people doing other than freeing Nnamdi Kanu now and raising their fists? I don't understand. And so the deliberate effort by law enforcement to inflame the protesters, in my view, is condemnable.
But the police says that it has a valid court order asking some of the protesters not to go in some, and that's the reason why they said they've arrested Sowore earlier today, that the court has ordered that the protesters should limit their protests to certain areas of the city.
If that was what the police were about or were on about, then the charges filed against Aloy Ejimakor and the other people whom they took to the magistrates' court in Kuje do not reflect that, because they were charged with conspiracy and a lot of other things. They were not charged with disobeying a court order. All right? Now, and by the way, if the police would not be the people prosecuting for disobeying a court order, that will have to, because that will be contempt of court, that will have to go through the office of the Attorney General of the Federation. So what they're saying is manifestly indefensible. It's manifestly without basis in the facts. Go and look at the charges that they filed. Now, to go then and heist Sowore from a court where he had gone to observe proceedings, as every citizen is entitled to do, is just a continuation of this unlawful way of proceeding about policing. And it's difficult. You see, the way they're picking up Sowore and, aggressing him makes it impossible not to have sympathy for his point of view that the Inspector General of Police is unlawful. You can't continue to aggress a citizen that repeatedly for nothing without in some way making your conduct subject to suspicion.
Let me take you to the appointment, the swearing in, the screening, and now the assumption of office of Professor Joash Amupitan, your colleague, Professor. What are your views about what now is going to be a new era for INEC?
Well, I've got to say I know Josh. We were in law school together. We were in the same law school class, and we were admitted to the Nigerian bar on the same day. He's what he said he is. Josh is a person of basic decency and integrity. And he's bright as hell. And my hope is that he will leave when eventually his time comes, his tenure comes to an end. He will leave INEC with as the same Josh whom I've known for the past 37, 38 years. Now, INEC obviously is a different kettle of fish from running a university as a deputy vice chancellor. Although, universities are also very political places, by the way. So it's no mean skill, by the way, to be deputy vice chancellor administration in a university like the University of Jos, which is the last public position he took before he came to this position. I can tell you that. Now, having said that, INEC is also a territory ruled by a lot of principalities, all right? As is likely to find out. There are lots of interests in INEC. Pretty much every staff in INEC is accounted for. Every politicians own a lot of staff inside INEC, all right? And so before he says good morning, there is somebody reporting that to one politician who is interested. And he's going to discover very soon that it's a very lonely position. It's a thankless job. The people interested in what he eats for breakfast are too many. The people interested in what he thinks, how he prays if he does, or how he doesn't pray if he doesn't, are just too many. And those interests are going to be there. And it's not really about what he desires to do as much, which is very important, as much as what he precludes and whom he precludes from becoming the dominant principality within INEC. I think that's probably what he's going to find out. But as for the man himself, I know him reasonably well. He is better, a lot better in terms of integrity, let me say this, from the person whom he is replacing.
I mean, why do you think it's better? On what paradigm? What are the indices that brought you to that conclusion?
Josh will not administer an election like in Edo State in which there are 4 results. He will not do that. Now, Mahmoud Yakubu perfected the art of producing elections in which there are 4 results. One which he announces, one in which which is on IREV, another one issued to the party agents, and another one tendered in court. That's criminal. And I'm not going to spare him on national television. He brought elections in Nigeria into disrepute. He brought INEC into disrepute. And the new INEC chair will have to begin to address this. And let me just give you a bit of statistics, if you allow me for 1 minute. Okay? Now, let's go back to 2007, which was the nadir in electoral administration in Nigeria. In 2007, Morrissey Wood destroyed elections in Nigeria with President Obasanjo. All right? Now, how do we know that? Because 86.35% of the elections of the offices contested in 2007 ended up in court. They were decided not at the ballot box, but by the judges and election tribunals, 86.35%. Now, Atahiru Jega had 10 months in which to run the 2011 elections. He brought down, and you see, politicians are very rational people. It's very simple. If a politician knows they have been well beat, the likelihood is they will not go, in most cases, not all cases, of course, but in most cases, they will accept their defeat and look for the next election. Now, in 2011, Atahiru Jega just simply addressed registration and reducing the number of elections that go to court as the test of credibility. With 10 months to deliver elections, he reduced the number of elections that ended up in court from 86.35% to 51%. That's over 35% reduction. It tells you he made massive progress. By 2015, President Jonathan decided he wasn't going to court. He wasn't going to go to court. He knew he was well beaten. And then, in 2015, 44% of the cases went to court. So, offices, what did you have? You had cycle upon cycle reduction between 2007, 2011, and 2015, with 2011 and 2015 supervised by Atahiru Jega. By 2019, with 4 years to supervise the elections, Mahmoud Yakubu increased the number of offices that ended up in court from under 45% to above 56%, at 56.34%. Okay? And by 2023, the number of offices that ended up in court were 83%. Does that tell you something? Mahmoud Yakubu ruined INEC, and I cannot spare him. He destroyed elections in Nigeria. Josh has a job, which is, nobody is expecting perfect elections, but begin to redress this in increments, so that by 2007, we are not going to have over 80% of our elections going to court. That is the first step.
Do you fear for your friend that you know too well, the man that you say has integrity, that the system might fail him?
But I just said that here. Absolutely, I do. That's the point I made. I was trying to...
Could that rubbish the integrity and the profile or the reputation that he's made for himself?
Oh, absolutely, yes. That's exactly the point I was making, or trying to make. Admittedly, English is not my first language. Quite often, I don't say the things I want to say very clearly. But, when I said that INEC is a place dominated by multiple principalities, that's exactly the point I was trying to make. There is no senior politician from the presidency to state governors who does not have a plant in INEC.
So, I mean, if you put a call through to your classmate, Josh, as you know him, what would you be telling him? That, well, he's living amongst demons, or is treading in the most horrific moments of his career and his life. How does he deal with it?
Well, if I would tell him that I'm not a spectacularly churchious person, but I'll tell him that because he is the person, I'll be praying for him.
It's our election. Can we rescue our election? Do you have hopes that 2027 election might be a free election for Nigerians?
Look, what would I say? We do have challenges, okay? We do have a lot of challenges, unquestionably so. But you see, I woke up this morning to see clips of Adams Oshiomhole campaigning against rigging, and I knew that something had happened on the road to Damascus. I don't know what it is. But if Adams Oshiomhole, who is responsible for the line that unless you have suffered rigging, you are not, I'm paraphrasing him, but unless you have been rigged out of office, you will not understand what it is to be a politician in Nigeria. If he is now against rigging, you never know. Damascus may be headed to Nigeria. Now, if I were if I were to make a suggestion to the INEC chair, the new INEC chairperson, quite clearly he cannot fix everything in one day, and with the time he's got at his disposal, and given the damage that Mahmoud Yakubu did to INEC, it seems to me he's got to decide what his priorities have got to be and how he's going to metricate progress, as in measure progress. And his first election, quite obviously, is Anambra State governorship election, and he's got less than, which is on the 8th. So he's got barely 2 weeks, 8th of next month. He's got barely 2 weeks to address that. And people are not going to be giving him any free passes. He's not going to have a break, it seems to me. And so people are going to see how he addresses Anambra State. And then use that as a basis going towards Ekiti State and then Osun State before, of course, we go to the 2027 elections. So it seems to me he's got a few laboratories, electoral laboratories in which to test his ideas, and on the basis of which Nigerians are going to have a foretaste of what 2027 is going to be like. So I'll start by suggesting that those laboratories in Anambra governorship, Ekiti governorship, and Osun governorship should provide us with a basis that is informed, on the basis of which to then begin to assess what will happen in 2027 elections.
Thank you so much indeed, Professor Chidi Odinkalu. But just, I'm curious though, what do you think about President Tinubu and those who are asking him to free Nnamdi Kanu?
Look, President Tinubu has pardoned everybody that can be pardoned. Cocaine importers, gun runners who have imported guns that have been used to kill our soldiers in Nigeria, human traffickers, the drug traffickers, all manner of traffickers. So basically traffickers in cocaine, traffickers in guns, traffickers in human beings, murderers who have spent less than, whose sentences have been confirmed by the Supreme Court, spent less than a few years in detention. Who has he not pardoned? And by the way, I woke up this morning again to see the story about repentant Boko Haram radicals or Boko Haram adherents. 300 and a bit graduated from Gombe. I mean, look, we're a country in which everybody gets a second chance and everybody is entitled to the right. There's a constitutional right to repent. So who says that Nnamdi Kanu cannot be pardoned? Why not?
Right.
And by the way, there is nothing that precludes the president from exercising a proactive prerogative of mercy. That when you read section 175 of the Constitution, isn't it? It does not say that a prerogative of mercy can only be exercised after a trial has been concluded. It can be exercised by the president at any time in the process.
Without the AGF office activating a null prosecutor on that matter?
No, absolutely, yes. Again, I have tremendous respect ordinarily for the current Attorney General of the Federation, but on this pardon thing, the conduct the paperwork says they have acted disreputably, and there's no other way to say it. It stinks what they have done. I'm on record, so I'm not going to pull punches on that. What they have done on that list of 175 absolutely stinks.
Prof, what are those who have fears about the implication of releasing Anambra Kanu and the security of the Southeast region, considering those who have taken chances and advantage of Anambra Kanu's statements and the people who have lost their lives?
Look, I have had members of my family killed by this thing, but again, and don't forget, I chaired the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission at the instance of the Anambra State Governor on the situation in the Southeast. And I've spent a lot of the past 3 years getting acquainted with that situation across all the 5 states of the Southeast. Unquestionably, there is an IPOB issue. But the IPOB issue is overblown, okay? If somebody tells you that Obosi in Anambra State is an IPOB issue, the person is a liar. IPOB cannot survive in Obosi. If anybody tells you that what happened with the Americans, 2 years ago in Ogbaro was an IPOB issue, that person does not know the terrain. It was not an IPOB issue. Other parts, in Osu, in Awidemili, in Osumogu, Anambra, Imo State borderlands, where there are IPOB issues, absolutely. In parts of Anambra State, Uga and Arondizogo, that's absolutely correct. But the idea that every issue in Southeast is an IPOB issue is ridiculous. It's absolutely not the case. Let me tell you this. The biggest single issue in security terms confronting the Southeast, in my estimation, based on the work I have done on this, is, I regret to disappoint you, not IPOB. It is one word, cults, financed by politicians. All right? Now, the cults are the biggest single issue, and you don't have a clue how terrible the problem of cults in the Southeast is at this particular time. Is there a crossover between that and the IPOB issue? Possibly. But cults financed by politicians, that is the biggest single security challenge confronting the Southeast at this time.
Dr. Chidi Odikalo, a former chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, a professor of law, a writer, and a lawyer. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
A former lawyer. Thank you, sir.
Once a lawyer, I wouldn't agree with you. On that, you're factually incorrect. And I rule you out of order. You have to go out, de-enroll yourself. You enrolled as a lawyer. You have to come back and take a bow out in front of the Supreme Court to say, I now de-enroll myself from being a lawyer at the Temple of Justice here. But thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you, Professor Chidi Odikalo. We'll take a break.
Thanks a lot, my brother.
We'll take a break, everyone. But when we return, I'll take you to Anambra State. One of the heavyweights will be joining me in that race. He is the APC governorship candidate in that election, a major challenger to Soludo's Solution 2.0 agenda. Nicholas Ukachukwu is next to talk to us on the program. We'll be right back, everyone. Well, as the countdown continues to the Anambra State governorship election, the political atmosphere is heating up. From campaign promises to party strategies and voter expectations, tonight we turn the spotlight on the All Progressives Congress APC and his flag bearer in the race, a candidate promising to bring a new approach to leadership, restore confidence in governance and tackle the challenges facing the state head on. We'll be joined by Mr. Nicholas Ukachukwu, the APC governorship candidate. Thank you so much indeed for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. for having me. It's quite a pleasure.
How's it going with your campaign?
As the day draws down, it becomes more hotter and more expectation. People want to hear you. Those who have bought into what you are saying want to hear more. They want to ask questions, want to get answers. And because of the way and manner the state has been run recently, or has been running as it's being run now, and then it changes a lot of narratives. It makes people to be inquisitive. If we are leaving this now to make a choice of a new leadership, are we going to get the same thing or get something better? What are you bringing on the table? Are we not going to go back? To them, Anambra State has gone backward. The state of moving forward.
Under Soludo in the last 3 years
plus? Yes.
That's your own assessment?
I'm talking about the 80% of Anambra State.
Is that what you feel?
Yes, because it's a trajectory. You have to track it. Development is tractable. It's not textbook.
What are the facts to these claims?
Okay, take for instance, like I was hearing now, then Carlos speak the other time. There are some certain records to track. Before this present regime, in education sector, we're among the first 5. Now we're 33. In the index of the whole 36 states, including the city. A place as safe to live in, and then comfortable to, and then access to infrastructure, where you can be able to have a little comfort about life. Anambra State will be among the 12, but now we're 34. So if you put those things together, it's total departure to the growth that other past administration has done. Because Anambra State is either you're manufacturing or trading. So if it's a manufacturing and trading community, the first and foremost is find out what can make those things work and what can give people more reason to come. It's too bad now that you can, if Anambra State turn in 80% graduates from different universities, whether within and outside the country, that among those number of youth, 5% are not in Anambra. They have to leave to find work in Abuja, in other places. Why? Because those things that create that kind of job they can do are no more there. It's being eroded. So that's why Anambra is going down.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned security, education, but the statistics are saying otherwise. There is a trend that shows that there is a drop in the insecurity situation in Anambra State.
Okay, I've not even come to the security part. I was talking, you're asking me what happened. This Philip Anderson, not even me, a consultant that did this, is known people. I'm not speaking as politics. I'm speaking what is there out there for anybody to see. I didn't do it. It is the international people, known organization with credibility that ran that index and then publish it. I did not.
What about the latest results from WAEC, latest result from JAMB that shows the performance of Anambra students?
Okay, the performance of Anambra State in those JAMB, go and check those that came top. There's no public school that is involved. They're private schools.
But they're from Anambra State.
Even when they're from Anambra State, it's individual efforts. It's not government. Before it used to be government schools, but no more. In fact, I remember I was engaging some religious body, I don't want to mention their names, who said to me, we're taking some missionary school. Missionary school are schools that are in a very remote rural area that people have no means of livelihood much, so they can't afford to go to school. So government now says, okay, fine, we'll give you the missions, this school to manage, but we'll take care of other things so that the children will go to school. The missions now provide themselves to manage it, and they were running it well. And all the previous administrations have been providing for those schools, but this one has left them. So
in your own estimation, you think that this government has not done well?
I mean,
or you think that it has improved, or it didn't meet your expectation?
Okay, let me. I've not come even to say what.
I'm asking about your assessment of Soludo's government.
Okay, now I'm going to talk from that point because I'm speaking from what is on ground, not my. These are things nobody can say is not true. But now let me come back to myself. The things of the government is like having run a company. Company as projected at the end of the day, when you look at the output, total everything, I'm up and down here and there. But at the end of the day, your projections must there'll be a growth pattern that you will be better than where you were. It doesn't matter whether it's this bringing it, whatever, but in total summary, it will be in Anambra today, in summary of governance, I can't score them for 30%. So if I could solve
in all of the Soludo solution campaign promises that are being made about 4 years ago and now.
Okay, can I talk about these campaign promises? Let me give you an example. I'm saying practical because this is the era of investigative journalism, era of social media. I'm from Newi South, Newi North, former Newi, Ekusigo, and then Yala. Put those things together. If you look at our revenue that we're getting, I'm talking about local government revenue now. I'm not even talking about the state revenue and our portion. If you look at it, I sit down here to tell you, there's no 1 meter square road that is done in Newi South. No one. There's no one. State government has not done nothing.
Could that be true? The governor told me on Sunday how many kilometers of roads that have been done in the 3 years of his administration.
Okay, if that's...
And there's hundreds of them.
If there is... I now want to speak in the national television. If there's one completed road in Newi South, one completed road in Newi South, and also in Newi North, the only thing the governor has done as of today is that he wants to dualize the road that passes through Newi. He has destroyed some houses, which they have not paid compensation, and has done gutter. That's all he has done. Drainage.
And you think that you can do better than Soludo?
Sir, before now, the question will ask, me standing, who is sitting down here with you, I've done over 10, 15 kilometers of road with the money in my communities, the communities around me. I'm saying it in national television. Before the advent of insecurity, I was the highest employment level outside Anambra state government. I have 30 industries. My family, our business in Anambra, today the Radisson Hotel in Anambra is owned by us, and all the other things in Anambra. So we believe in Anambra, we invest in Anambra, and people knows this. They were not clamoring for me, not because I want to be governor, because I have a burden to fix things.
But I mean, what is your own agenda? What do you want to do differently? Why should the people of Anambra State listen to Ukachukwu? Those people who have high expectation of Soludo, a former CBN governor who's around the state for the last 3 years, why should they pick an Ukachukwu and leave Soludo ill?
Okay, I will come to that. You know, teaching things, theoretical part of life is not a practical part. There are many people that are petroleum engineers, but they've not seen crude oil. So it's not about what you practice or what you learn in school. It's what you see in the field. But that's notwithstanding. Coming from myself, I've told you some things I've done, who I am already.
So you're saying that leave the professorial title and all the experience in the CBN that Soludo has, you think you are better than him? Put side by side.
I will just in 3 minutes tell you this. I've said earlier that Anambra is a manufacturing and trading environment. And for things to work there, you must know what are the indices, the enablers, the things that can help that work. And if it's everything we're going to do, people within there should. So we identify those things and put it in a basket. It's not it's not a rocket science. And then one of the first one is security. Security issue has not to be politically whatever. I tell you now, when I interface with security in Anambra State, there's no security department in Anambra State, be it police, be it army, be it DSSS, that this present government has given up the 10th truck. No one. 2, there's no of these people that I'm telling you now that can say that this is what they can say that be motivated to fight insecurity. That by the side. So we'll first insecurity because we have things to protect. And people believe because I have investment in Anambra State, I'm better off.
How would you secure Anambra State?
Some of this I might not say in the public, but at the same time, we know there are problems and not just IPOP as per se. There are other things that are part of the problem we have.
What would you say is a major problem of security in Anambra State?
Okay. There are many people who are not happy that the government who has engaged them for the past 20 years and they have been in government has not done all they promised them. And they felt they will use them and dump them. And based on that, they are going to create problem for them. That part were there. Those people have to pat at the back and say, this Anambra, you cannot destroy it. Let's move forward. The other group also are those who are agitating for Nnamdi Kanu at release. And on that note, they're using to perpetrate other things that are not right. Those things have to be addressed. And then you involve community into the policing and security of our environment. When you put those things together, then Anambra State will have a better future. And then provide for also the people who are the known security apparatus, the army, police, DSS, civil defense, navy, so that can be able to provide and encourage. And then when they do, they can do a lot. I remember from one interface I had with one of the organizations, and they said they are looking for bulldozer in order to go into the forest where these people are, because that's mine. And it took government 3-4 years to provide, 3 years plus to provide this because of the election. He said that's lip service to security.
But there is a trend that's shown. Governor Soludo said it on the program. We said, look, I sit at home, IPOP sit at home phenomenon is a thing of the past. He says now people can now move at night in Anambra State.
You have correspondence
to 4 years
You have correspondence in Anambra State. Tell them whether one kept open on Monday.
He says he sit at home in Anambra State.
Whether market is open on Monday.
I'm asking.
Market doesn't open on Monday. Banks doesn't open on Monday. Make a call, find out. The things they will come to tell you here will not. It's not.
How would you stop that if it's true that it's still going on?
You have to cut off the thing from the board. You have to tackle the problem insecurity from the board, and then get people to buy into the fact that doing what you're doing cannot help us move forward. That your people are suffering. When those things have come to bear, then things like that will move forward. But be it as may, let me also address this. I have plans for my state. The first thing is after insecurity. We need to make sure we have power. We have gas deposit and it's being exploited now. They are being, into commercial, has gone to commercial value now. That is being taken and sold to other parts of Nigeria. If you remember those, you will put a power plant. I've negotiated with GE, and they're ready to partner with the state to give us power plant and we'll pay over years. And we'll issue coupons, bonds, back on with state government, guaranteed that individuals will buy whatever light you're using in your house. So with that one, whatever light you're using in your house will belong to you.
Mr. Ukachukwu,
yes.
Do you think that the people of Anambra State can trust you? Do you have a reputation that is trusted for them to hand over the destiny of the state into your hands?
Okay, when you come to that, there's no better person they can trust than me.
Do you have the reputation?
Of course I do. Don't forget, there's not issues with no. Don't forget, I'm coming from the point that many of the people who are in Anambra knows that this is what I've done, this is who I am, this is what I've become, this is at what point I am. And then
what about the controversies around your person?
Like which one?
I mean, without having one to say on television. You know the controversies around you about your reputation. And there are those who fear that, comparative analysis, how do you defend yourself?
There's nothing around me that is not politically motivated.
So there's politics.
Take for instance, I was coming out from Hilti. Some people accosted me and made a video and posted it. And then uploaded a check that said that they paid me. And I said to people, it's laughable. I thought it was a skit. But let me also say that. Check the company. They say they pay Shopee company money. Go and check. I'm not a director or shareholder in the company Shopee. 2, and let the person upload. Can you do a business that is 1 billion naira and you have no document to show for it?
And you say your hands are totally clean with this?
I have not, whatsoever it is, I have nothing to do with that. Be it as may, in politics, people say all manner of things they want to say, but Anambra people know us in terms of who we are and what we have done.
Are you worried, though? It does look like Soludo is getting a lot of support from your party. And there are those who are said to be working, who want Soludo to return, and they are within your party. In fact, there are a lot of people who think that the relationship between Soludo and President Tinubu is so strong that it does look like he has gotten a tacit support from the villa.
Shehu, how do you see this? I have so much respect for you, your journalism. Why would a sitting governor that have managed over 500 billion naira be hanging that is going to election based on that party's leadership support? It's not laughable. Is it that the only thing that he put in forward that, President Tinubu is not supporting his party, and then, which I know that President can never do anti-party. We know him as a party person. He stays a party from AD to AC to ACN. He doesn't go from beyond the whatever. That's how he has been. He can't. He wants his party to win, but not notwithstanding. How will a governor who has governed state for almost 4 years, the only credibility, the only thing is organized, progressive and working together, wearing a cap of APC and cap of APUGA? It's not laughable. It's not nauseating. You should be telling Anambra how much will be clapping for you that, you have done so much. See the rally he has been doing, and it's live on channel. See it, and see the video is focusing on him, and the focus on the crowd that is called out to come and meet him. Can't he show the field and listen to the number of there? I'm going to start local government tour tomorrow. My community tours are bigger than his local government tour. That will show who people want and who people don't want. I will start the local government tour tomorrow. Of course, channels will be there. And when you see local government tour And because of the crowd I'm expecting in one local government, I divided that local government into two. So I'm going to meet in two zones the same day in that local government. And you see the crowd, it's not rented. Not the one we pay.
If Soludo beats you, would you congratulate and concede?
Definitely I will. You see, he came to national television to say, in one of the interviews I had in Accra, said, oh, the APC is trying to get election. Oh, they're going to buy a vote. But we has alerted all the security agencies. Anyone they see buying vote, they should arrest him. So anybody buying vote in Anambra says at risk of being arrested.
Are you confident about winning?
Oh, I pray and believe God I'm going to win because my people are behind me and they want me to win. And you see the kind of anxiety, the kind of what is coming out from Africa now, what's coming from it's only me. I'm not the only political party, there are other parties. But the man knows that the state has moved. You know, before there's denominational policy in Anambra, it's no more there now.
All right. Mr. Nicola Ukachukwu is the APC governorship candidate in Anambra. I wish you the very best. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. God bless Nigeria.